process to make sure your records are correct. So creating a credit note, very easy. Again, you're going to go to New and under Customers, Credit Note. In creating credit note, you're going to see exactly the same interface as invoices, bills. You can either create a credit note directly from an invoice. If you're going to completely credit note an invoice, like the whole invoice, or if a partial items on the invoice, do it from there. Or what we do with a lot of clients that sell online is they would process refunds or stuff that people have returned, but those amounts don't get paid back to them. It just falls as a credit on the account. So we go and create those credit notes just so the stock gets correct in the books. And then what we do, we go and manually apply the credit note to the invoice. So you go to receive payment, just as if you're receiving a payment. But what you're actually doing is you're taking, let's say, the oldest invoice, and you're going and you're taking your credit note and you're matching it to your oldest invoice. Because now your credit note actually works as a credit to you. It means you have money in here, or your client owes you less in all certainty. So basically what you're going to do is you're matching that credit to your oldest invoice, and that's how you manage your accounts receivable. And if you don't do this, your statements will not look correct and your invoices will keep showing as outstanding or overdue. So very important to do this step. So these are your customer statement types. You've got your balance brought forward, your open item, and your transaction. So your balance brought forward, so this is a customer statement type that shows a list of invoices and payments with opening and ending balances for a specific date range. Your open item, this is a customer statement type that shows a list of all open and unpaid invoices. Then we've got a transaction type. This is a customer statement that shows a list of transactions between two set dates, almost like a customer ledger. So if you want to send statements, you can do so by going to the sales center, go to customers, and go to batch actions and create statements. So you're going to first select all the customers you want to send the statement to, and then you're going to click on create statements. What I normally do, click on that open balance field, and then you're going to filter it. It's going to go from the highest amount to the lowest. Then you're going to click on all the clients that owe you the most money, and you're going to send out those statements. Your statement field looks very similar. You choose your statement type. Your date will be today's date. You put your start date in and your end date. That's also very important. And then it's going to show you if there's any missing email addresses and which statements are actually available to send. It's only going to show or send statements that have email addresses in. And it's going to show you how much money is actually outstanding and for how many customers. So what's nice here is you can actually preview all the statements before you send them out as well. And now we're in module 7, which is your reports, your tax, your Quickbooks app, and recurring transactions. And we're going to start with basic reports. Okay, so the benefit of creating reports. So your clients need to have a clear snapshot of how they are doing in their business. Quickbooks Online reports provide valuable insights into the financial position of the business, the results of operations for a specific time period, statistical information such as, let's say, the best-selling item or gross profit margins, and then information about customers, suppliers, and employees. So we've got your different types of reporting in Quickbooks Online, and that's really great. You've got your cash and accrual basis reporting, and we all know the difference between the two, so I'm not going to go into detail here. And then we have reporting restrictions. So I have touched on this earlier, and this just depends on which subscription level you're on. So if you really can't find a report, it may be because you are too low of a subscription level or because of your user rights. So what it says here, edit and review review permissions, verify that this feature is available on your Quickbooks subscription, and check to see if the feature is turned on in accounting settings. So look at those 3 things if you really feel that your reporting is restricted. Then we've got your report center. So in your reports tab, we find the report center. What's great is you've got a search button. You can search any report. You don't have to know the exact name. Put a keyword in and it will find all the reports with that key name or keyword. So at the top, we've got your reports and your performance center. The performance center is my favorite. It's your graphs which you can add, edit, play around with. That's a great conversational tool. We've also got your standard, your custom reports, and your management reports. The management reports you can send out monthly to your clients. You don't even have to go in and set it. It will send out automatically. You can also add favorites, and they're also grouped in different types of reporting categories. So you've got your business overview, you've got your who owes you, sales and customers, what you owe, expenses and vendors, and sales tax, and there is more. What I like about Quickbooks Online, it's really built for the end user. So what we do in our firm, we really go and teach your client, teach them how to use the reporting, teach them where to go, how to look. So they can take a lot of that away from you, because this is what they actually want to see as the reporting. You do the back end and they look at this. So this is your profit and loss and account or report, and you can see those sub accounts that we maybe have created earlier. So the ones that have those drop down arrows next to them, those are the ones that have sub accounts linked to them. So you can hide or show them by clicking on the drop down. If you click on the drop down arrow when it is down, facing downwards, it will then close it and you will see the total, for example, for legal and professional fees. But if you open it when it is down, when it is featured right, and you click on it and it goes down, you are now going to see the breakdown, for example, for gas and electric and telephone when it comes to your utilities. So it just depends on how you want to see the reporting, how your client wants to see it, and it just can hide unnecessary detail with what your client wants to see. This is a snapshot of your balance sheet, and the same applies. You've got the ability to close some of those accounts just to show the actual balances. Now we look at your value of your reporting and what you can actually do with them. So it's all about analyzing the profit and loss. I think this is one of the most used accounts, and it's why we're looking at it in such detail. But let's say if you want to compare your profit and loss with the previous period, what would you do, for example? So you're going to go, let's say, to your accountant reports because you're an accountant, and you're going to click on maybe profit and loss comparison. So what's nice is QuickBooks Online gives you so many different types of reports. You can go to the profit and loss comparison report. You can either go to a normal profit and loss report, click on rows and columns, and click on the appropriate period of comparison. Then on the report, you're going to obviously go and click which period you want to compare with. So as you can see in this example, you're going to say you want to compare to the previous period, or you want to compare to the previous year. Now, when you do select the comparison, it's going to ask you if you want to compare the change in dollars or whatever your currency is, or if you want to see the percentage change. So it really gives you really great type of comparative figures here. You can also do percentage of growth, percentage of income, and this is where you can also reorder your columns. So just remember that whatever you want to do, if you want to maybe track delinquent customer accounts, for example, something super specialized. Customize your report under that customize button and make sure to save your customization. Okay, the same goes with analyzing your balance sheet. If you want to add and remove rows, you're going to go there and click on customize button and reorder the columns, or let's say hide rows and columns under that customize section. So your customize is really going to give you that ability to make it exactly how you want it. Okay, and then your sales tax will be back set up. So when you get started with sales tax, you need to look at the requirements. So to which agency you're trying to pay sales tax to, what are the filing frequencies, is it monthly, is it bi-monthly, where are your clients located? And you're going to find the setup and everything tax related under the taxes center. So basically you're going to go to taxes and you're going to go to setup. There's a lovely video which shows you exactly what you need to do and how you need to get started. So once you go to set up sales tax, you're going to go and start off your tax code. So remember, it's not end, it's start. You're going to choose your filing frequency and your reporting method. So in most cases, it's going to be accrual, and then you're going to put your VAT number in or your sales tax number, and you're going to click on next. And then you're all set. Just remember that when you do set up your sales tax, it's not the first thing you did. Go back to your product and services and your expense accounts and go and switch your sales tax on, so that you can go and track that correctly on all of your items, because you don't want to go and miss any of those sales tax transactions. Okay, and then the app. I hope everyone did watch the video, but I'm just going to show you a little bit about it. So the Quickbooks Online mobile app is free with any paid subscription of Quickbooks Online. It's available for iOS or Android devices. It has instant updates, so it's always up to date with your Quickbooks Online account. So what you see on the cloud, on the web version, is what you're going to see on the mobile app, and it has the exact same level of security as the browser. Now, the mobile app, this is just a screenshot or a snapshot of what you're going to see. You've got your dashboard, your shortcuts, your new shortcuts, all menus, your list pages, and certain forms. So remember, in this app, you can't do everything. You're not going to be able to reconcile a bank account, and you're not going to be able to file your sales tax. But you are going to be able to email invoices, and you are going to be able to categorize bank items. So there are certain things that you can do in Quickbooks Online, and there's things that you can't do. So just bear that in mind. It will not do everything that the web version does. And now we're going to look at transactions. So this is all about helping your clients set up those recurring transactions. So with Quickbooks Online, there are many types of recurring transactions. You've got your sales receipts, your invoices, your bills, your journals, checks, deposits, expenses, you name it, it's there. So to get to it, you basically are going to go to your gear icon, you're going to go to lists and recurring transactions. You're going to choose your transaction type, whether it is a journal for those depreciation charges, an estimate, an invoice, whatever you want to choose, and you click on OK, and then it's going to take you to that recurring transaction page. So this is a great way to automatically enter transactions, is by making them recurring. So creating recurring transactions looks a little bit different, but you're going to create your template name. It's going to be a scheduled transaction, and you're going to create them, let's say 5 days in advance, 10 days in advance. You're going to think this is an expense, so you're going to choose your payee, and you're going to choose your bank account, and you're going to say when this is going to go off. So let's say if you have a monthly debit order for your QuickBooks Online subscription, then you're going to go and create this as an expense, and it's going to recur on a monthly basis and the day on which it goes on. And you can put a start date and you can put an end date if it's got a structure to it. Then you're going to go in, choose your category. So it's going to be a subscription, your amount, and you're going to link it. So what's great here is you can also make this type of expense billable and to which customer it should be billable to. So it's really got a lot of insight. So every type of transaction you choose will have a different layout. So the invoice will look different. A journal is going to look different. So just bear that in mind when you do your recurring transactions. And now we're going to look at module 8, which is the last module, and it's all about online banking. So I do think this time we're not going to be able to demo online banking, but if I do get to it, I will do it. However, I will address it in the study group. So first, we're going to look at setting up bank feeds. So this is all about the bank feeds, the banking center. So if you want to get to download the transactions with bank feeds in QuickBooks Online, you're going to go to banking in the navigation bar, or you're going to go to dashboard and you're going to select the bank account you want to work in. So if you want to connect a bank feed, you're going to go to the right hand side where that little red box is, and you're going to say link account. You're going to choose which account you want to link. So obviously first you're going to say which bank it is, you're going to input your login details, and then once it's logged in successfully, you're going to link it to the actual bank account that's created in QuickBooks Online, and you're going to tell it from when it must pull the bank transaction. Now, if you don't want to, let's say, do the bank feed, or your bank is not supported, you have the ability to upload the file. So again, click on that drop down and say upload the file. Very simple process. You're going to be able to import your data CSV, QFX, QBO, OFX, or TXT format. You might be able to download a sample, I'm not 100% sure, but yes, you are. Actually, you can download a sample, and you're going to fill in the details as it should be, and drag and drop it, or select your files and continue. Then you're going to go and select which account it must go to, continue. This is where you map them. So you're going to say, is there a header? Is there 2 columns, one for income, one for expenses, or is there one? And your date format. Then once you've done that, this is where you're basically going to go and map. So your date in your actual is your QuickBooks field, and what do you have in your file? You've named it as, let's say, transaction date. Your description, you've named it as transaction description, for example. And then you have 2 columns, one is credit and one is debit, or one is money spent, money received. However you've named it, this is where you actually go and map those transactions. Okay, and then we look at bank rules. So bank rules automate categorization of the transactions on the bank feed, including assignment of the transaction type, category, payee, class, application. They can also be automatically created to split transactions. Rules can be prioritized over other rules. They can be copied, edited, and exported, and you can even create bank rules automatically add transactions. So if you know bank fees are bank fees, go and make them automatically add, and it's going to save you so much time. Now, if we look at creating a rule, you're going to go to rules, and that is in your banking center, and you're going to go to new rule, and you're going to create your bank rule. Very simple. If a client has preferred supplier for office supplies, to best automate this is obviously going to be to create a bank for the supplier transaction. So you're going to call this, let's say, office supplies. It's a money out transaction. It must affect all bank accounts. The description must, let's say, contain the words of your supplier, and then you're going to allocate it to your expense of office supplies. You can put it to your payee, which is your supplier, and then you can go on. And that is exactly how you go and create a loop. Now, this is looking at banking workflows. So this is all about matching those existing transactions that we created earlier. So when you have your bank statement loaded in, your invoice payments, your deposits, your sales receipts are all going to be matched by those transactions that are pulled in from the bank. This is also going to be the same with regards to your expenses. So any expense, any check, any bill payment is going to be matched by that bank transactions that you've pulled in on your bank. Then, if you don't have any more matches, you're just going to go and add those transactions. So remember, there's three types, or there's a few, but the most commonly seen terms in the banking center is your matching, your rules, and you're going to see terms such as uncategorized income or uncategorized expenses. This is things that QuickBooks just doesn't know exactly where to put it. So remember, QuickBooks has AI built into it, so it knows basically where to allocate certain things after a while. This is also, you can look at your grouping. So you can search your recognized, you can group all your transactions by your matched, you can search for transactions, and then you can actually batch edit or batch approve these transactions. So if you want to just batch all of those transactions that have been matched, you can go ahead and do it. So once you've selected those transactions, that you want to maybe edit, you're going to select them on the left, and then it's going to pop up with that gray bar. So you have the option to either accept it, update it, or exclude it. So accept means you're happy with the transaction. Update means you want to edit the transaction. So this means you basically want to recategorize it. And exclude means that you have maybe found a duplicate and you just want to remove it from the banking center. So it won't delete it, it will remain in excluded, but it will be out of your bank register. And this is one setting to always remember to put on, is copy bank detail to memo. Very important. Always switch it on so that it always goes into your general ledgers. If you don't switch it on, you're only going to maybe see the description and it's not going to be correct. Another thing is put on your show bank detail. This is in your settings, the smaller settings, not the big settings at the top. And this just means that it will show exactly what was on the bank statements and not what QuickBooks thinks was on the bank statement. Now we're going to look at transfers. So what is a transfer? So transferring, it's basically transferring funds from one account to another account. That's basically what it means. And you're going to use the transfer screen if you want to use it to move funds from two balance sheet accounts. So you don't use the transfer screen to record income or expenses, and there are no customer, suppliers, employees, product or services items involved. They're actually not even available on the transfer screen. So you also don't use the transfer feature to transfer from your bank account to your supplier bank account. You don't have to use the transfer feature. You can actually do this directly in the bank. Then we're going to touch on reconciling the bank. So reconciling is a process to verify that the transactions in QuickBooks agrees with the bank or credit card statement. So with a bank statement, the power of QuickBooks Online and smart learning, reconciliation can be done quickly and efficiently, and it really stands by that statement. So you're going to go to accounting and reconcile. You're going to choose which account you want to reconcile. Choose, let's say, the bank account. You're going to put your beginning balance in, and that's maybe a 0 if you start right at the beginning. Then you've got an ending balance, that's the date, and then you're going to put your ending date. When you do that, you're going to say start reconciling. It's then going to give you all of those different options. So if you have a difference, you know that you either missed a transaction or you've got a duplicate. So you need to go through all of those transactions and match it to your bank statement and see where you've gone wrong. You've got obviously your ending balance, your cleared balance, your deposits. You can save it for later. You can edit the info if you've made a mistake. You can filter the data. There's a lot of stuff to do on this reconciliation page. What I normally do if I find a difference is go and untick everything and start ticking as I see it on the bank statement, and you very quickly will find where there is. And once you have reconciled, you are going to see a 0 difference, and that means that you have officially reconciled, and you can say finish now, and your book or your bank account has been reconciled. So I think we have a good 10 minutes now for a quick demo. I'm very glad we've reached to that point. So I'm going to show you the banking sector of demo. To share my screen. So again, I know it was a lot of information that we pushed through, but this is an exciting part. So basically, before we go to banking, I just want to show you the reporting. So these are your different reporting options. If you do go to the profit and loss, this is your comparison, and this is your customize. So you have a lot of different customization options here. You can put a header, footer, the date it was prepared. You can show your negative numbers in red. There's a lot of things you can do here. You can do it cash basis, accrual basis. There's a lot you can do. So play around with your reporting. But now we're going to go into banking, and I've got some dummy data that we can work with just so I can show you. But first I'm going to show you how easy it is to upload file. So we come to the screen. I've got a bank account. I've already uploaded a bank account here. I'm linking it. I have a header. My income and expenses is in one column, and my date format is in this column, and it has linked correctly. So my amount goes to amount, my description, and my date to date. Then I want to do all the transactions. So I can unselect, continue, then 20 transactions, yes. So that is as easy as it is. So I'm going to quickly go and import another bank account just so I can show you the transfers. We've got our savings account here, date format again, continue, just 2 transactions, and it's right. So let's actually start with these. The savings account, so you can see how easy it is to move between the two. So here we can easily see that this has already paired it. So it's seen that there's a transaction in the business account on the 31st of December where 50,000 has actually come into the business account and it's been spent from the savings account. So here, right, it's picked it up. So I can just double check that it is correct. So received and spent. So if you're happy, all you're going to do, say add. And just like that, the transaction is gone on both sides. right? You can see if we have the 20,000. So I see a 20,000 here. Just want to see if the date is correct, and it's unfortunately not, so it's different days, so I won't categorize that. So let's say I want to batch these bank charges. So I'm going to search for the word fee, and these are all fees, right? I'm going to click here, update it to an expense, choose bank charges, and let's say choose a tax rate. Please forgive me if I got the tax rate wrong, and I'm going to apply and accept. Right, now it's already asking me if I want to create a rule. So I can, as easy as that, go and create a rule. And it's kind of suggested how the rule should be. So you can go and just say create rule, create rule, create rule, and it will do that. So what's nice is I can go back to the rule, and I can go and edit this rule, and I can actually say it must contain a hashtag, for example, because technically all bank feeds have a hashtag, and then it must do this, and it can auto add, right? Now we have it. So if we want to match income, we're going to do it this way. We're going to click, going to go to find match. This is if you do it directly from the bank. So we're just going to look at our invoices. So here we've got some invoices that have already pre-populated, and we can, let's just allocate it to any of them. You can see that it's part paid. So you're just going to click it there and save. It's a bit slow to refresh it. So if we want to manually allocate something, let's say this is now your petrol that we've created, you just go in, you click, categorize petrol, tax code, you see there's a petrol, so I'm going to choose it, and you can make it a default, and you add, right? That is as simple as it is. And it's the same with bulls. So, and here you can see that it's already remembered that shells. I can go here and say, find all the recognized. Here's all the shells, here's all the petrol and tolls, and go and accept. I'm not gonna create a rule, close it. I'm just going to quickly show you how it works when we find a match to be a bull. So now we're looking for a bull payment. Change date range. Just make sure you always put your date range correctly. And I'm going to do this. So it seems like this is over. So I'm not going to actually do this one. Just for testing purposes, let's do this one. And there we go. So I've got a part payment here and save. So that is banking in a nutshell. So this is if you work directly from the banking center, and if you have not created your receive payments yet, and if you have not done your expenses yet, and you have not done any of your other transactions yet regarding the bank. So you can go and allocate directly from the bank. So here I can go and say this is a sales receipt, a card machine sale, and I put it to the income and so as simple as that. You don't have to allocate, remember, to a customer if you are doing a sales receipt. So you see the fields change. That's really nice. So yeah, that is banking. I hope everyone enjoyed. It was a lot to cover. I know. I really hope everyone did enjoy and enjoyed the session. We're going to come back for the study hall. But for now, we're going to take a 5-minute break so everyone can refresh and come and get ready for the next session. And just remember that everyone who gets certified today, the first 10 people to get certified will win a $25 voucher, shopping voucher. Don't forget to email your congratulations email to qbevents@eclipsecomms.com, and the winner